everyone, and welcome to Miss Liz's Storytime Online. So like all of our story times, we always begin with our hello song. We clap and say hello. So we clap and say hello. We clap and say hello with our friends at story time. We clap and say hello. We wave and say hello. We wave and say hello with our friends at story time. We wave and say hello. Hello, welcome to story time. So if you've been following along at home, we've been doing our ABCs of story time. So last week we had W, right? W was for wolves. So do you know what letter is this week? Yes. X. That's good. Very good. X. So, X is a very fun letter, but we don't have that many words that start with X. Do you know any of them? Well, we have xylophone. Play the xylophone. We have, what else? Oh, the boy's name Xavier. We have Xavier. But today we're going to be doing X-ray. X-rays are really cool, right? So our sign of the day is going to be X-ray. So first we put up our fingers like this. So yeah, when you curl it in and do this, you're making the sign for X in American Sign Language. And then to do the ray part, we go curl our fingers like this, and then go. So it goes X, ray, X, ray. I really like the ray part. It's like a beam. So we have a song today about what words begin with X. And then, we're going to go through those three words we had, right? Xylophone, X-ray, and Xavier, okay? So, what begins with X? What begins with X? We all know we'll tell you so. What begins with X? Xylophone begins with X. Xylophone begins with X. We all know we'll tell you so. Xylophone begins with X. Good. What was the other one I said? For X-ray. Okay. What begins with X? What begins with X? We all know we'll tell you so. What begins with X? X-ray begins with X. X-ray begins with X. We all know we'll tell you so. X-ray begins with X. Good. And then we'll do Xavier, the boy's name, right? What begins with X? What begins with X? We all know we'll tell you so. What begins with X? Xavier. Xavier begins with X. Xavier begins with X. We all know we'll tell you so. What begins with X? Xavier begins with X. Okay, so there's another part of the song. It's called What Ends with X. We have a lot more words we got some words that ends with X. Yeah. Fox, right? A box begins with X. Ox, that's a kind of farm animal. It's very much like a cow, but it has big horns. So we're gonna go, what ends with X? What ends with X? We all know we'll tell you so. What ends with X? Fox ends with X. Fox ends with X. We all know we'll tell you so. Fox begins with X. Fox ends with X. I'm sorry. I know I'm getting all my words messed up. Okay, so what else do we say? Box, right? So what ends with X? What ends with X? We all know we'll tell you so. What ends with X? Box ends with X. Box ends with X. We all know we'll tell you so that a box ends with X. Okay, the last one is ox. So, what ends with X? What ends with X? We all know we'll tell you so. What ends with X? ends with X. Ox ends with X. We all know we'll tell you so. Ox ends with X. Very good. So I said today we're doing X's for X-ray. Now, you might not know what X-ray is, and that's okay. I have something to show you. So an X-ray is a tool for looking under the skin to the bones. So it is usually used at a doctor's office or at a hospital so that they can see how your bones are doing. They want to see if anything's broken or misaligned. It's not where it's supposed to be. So they use an X-ray machine. And I'm going to show you what an X-ray looks like, right? It's really cool. Okay, so let's start with, what's this? It's a hare. It's a rabbit, right? So this is what the hare or rabbit looks like out on the outside with a picture, right? But if they take an X-ray of it, whoa! You can see what he looks like on the inside. That's what he looks like on the outside. And this is on the inside. I know, it's so cool. Want to see some other ones? Okay. What do we want to look at next? We got, how about a tortoise or a turtle? You know what those look like, right? There's a turtle or a tortoise. You can see his shell, right? And then they take an X-ray of him. What is that? Whoa. Here you see the outside of the shell, and then you see his bones on the inside of his little feet. But yeah, it's really cool. I like X-rays. It's not a thing you can normally see. I like that. What else do I have? Want to see a snake? Some people are scared of snakes, and it's okay if you're scared of snakes. I promise it's just a picture. Miss Liz used to be scared of snakes when she was little. But got some really cool pictures of them. Ooh. So we got a snake right here, right? Wonder what he looks like on the inside with an X-ray. Ooh. Wow. So there's his head. And there's his body all curled up like we saw in the other picture, right? Snakes are all basically one set of long bones that goes all the way around in tiny little segments. They don't look anything like people on the inside, which makes sense. They don't look anything like people on the outside either. So what's one more I can show you? Got a lot of these. I think they're cool. Okay. I have a fish. I need to show you a fish because our craft is how to make an X-ray fish. So hopefully we should see what a fish looks like. There he is. Sorry, Miss Liz didn't put these in order. So here's a very silly looking fish, right? See his stripes and his little bulge on his head. Now on the inside, he looks like that. Wow. So we're gonna make a simple X-ray fish for our craft, and I'll show you that at the end, okay? Yay! I could honestly spend the whole story time showing you guys different X-rays. That would be really cool. But we do have a book to read. It's called My Mother Has X-Ray Vision. It's about a kid who thinks his mother can see through walls, kind of like an X-ray can see through a person or an animal. Okay, we're going to start that right now. So our book for today is called My Mom Has X-Ray Vision by Angela McAllister, illustrated by Alex T. Smith. My mom has X-ray vision. Matthew's mom was like all the other moms. She had ordinary hair, ordinary clothes, and a nice smile. Matthew's mom was just like all the other moms, except she could see through things. Matthew was pretty sure she had X-ray vision. On Monday, he was wrestling with a giant sea monster when Mom shouted from downstairs, "Matthew, sit down in the tub." How did she know what he was doing? On Wednesday, he was brewing up spells in a mountain cave to defeat a powerful lizard when Mom yelled from the kitchen, "Matthew, don't use my saucepans in the yard." How did she know that he had them? On Friday, he was defending his castle from an enormous fire-breathing dragon when Mom called up from the living room, "Matthew, don't jump on the bed." How did she know here he was? "It's really weird," Matthew said to his friend Emily. "My mom can see what I'm doing when she isn't there. She must have X-ray vision. Like a superhero. Wow." "I'll ask my brother," said Emily. "He's always reading superhero comics. He'll know about X-ray vision." But Matthew had to find out for himself. "I'll give Mom a test," he thought. On Saturday, when Mom asked him to bring in the shopping, Matthew crept upstairs and hid in the closet. "Matthew," called Mom, "where are you going?" Do you think she really has X-ray vision? Let's see. Matthew smiled to himself. If Mom comes right inside, right up the stairs, right into the bedroom and opens the closet door, then I'll know for sure that she has X-ray vision. Matthew waited, but Mom didn't come. Matthew waited, but still Mom didn't come. Maybe she couldn't see through closets. What's his mom doing? Looks like she saw someone outside who needs help. Still, Matthew waited. Maybe Mom couldn't see through doors. But look, she's helping somebody. She might be an actual superhero. Maybe Mom has forgotten me, thought Matthew. Then suddenly he heard footsteps. Someone came up the stairs. Someone opened the door. "Mom!" cried Matthew. But it wasn't Mom. Emily offered Matthew a gumdrop. "My brother says that moms never have X-ray vision," she said, "and he knows." "He is right," said Matthew, sighing. "I was wrong. I hid, but you couldn't find me. She's not a superhero. She's just an ordinary mom like all the rest." Then they heard a rustle in the hall. "Let's put these groceries away," said Mom. So Matthew and Emily helped Mom, and she thanked them with her nice, ordinary smile. "Come on, Emily," said Matthew. "Let's play outside." But just as they made a dash for the door, "Matthew!" shouted Mom. "Don't hide that bag of chips under your sweater." Matthew looked at Mom suspiciously. Then a big grin crept onto his face. "Guess what?" he whispered to Emily. "I think my mom has eyes in the back of her head." So maybe she doesn't have x-ray vision, but she always seems to be able to see him when she's not looking at him. The end. I think his mom might actually be a superhero and he just is totally unaware. So our craft for this week for X is for X-ray is an X-ray fish. You get to make your own X-ray fish. So you'll have the black background that looks like on the X-rays, you know how we saw the outline of the animals, and then the white for the part of them that doesn't show up on the X-ray, and then the black for all the bones, so you can see their little ribs, the spine, and then the fish tail, and just an eye, so you can see where the eye is. So you can pick one of these up at the library and make one at home for your X's for X-ray craft. Now, like all of our story times, we always end with our goodbye song. We wave goodbye like this, so thank you for coming to story time, and we wave goodbye like this, we wave goodbye like this with our friends at story time. We wave goodbye like this. Goodbye. Thank you for coming to story time. Goodbye.